Welcome back to Werewolf, Heart of the Forest. A vision quest is upon us. You're a cub, so you have special privileges, said the weasel. Pushcha will grant you a vision. You must see to understand, said the wolf. Think carefully before you choose what you see. We can either go to the place of power and learn about our future, our destiny. We can go to the wolf's den and learn about the present, the forest. Or we can go to the barrows where we learn about the past and your family, my family. I think that's a no-brainer. For me, I just dig the past, literally. So that's what we came for, and here we have the chance to learn about it. So I will go to the barrows. The present, I mean, what happens, happens, right? It's just, we'll see. We live in the present, so even if we go there, this is our present. Maybe we could learn something about the forest itself here, but that we will do also if we learn about the past. Future, nah. What comes, comes, and only if we know our past, we can learn for the future. For example, not repeating mistakes and such, or something like that. I don't know. But we go there. The tangled paths. It was hard to find the barrows, although I knew where they were. When I looked behind me, the path had disappeared. I felt the pushcha playing with me. Twisted paths blocking my way with bushes and dead trees, and then suddenly opening a new path that was straight and full of sunshine. But I pushed on. Determined, I pushed on. Since the change, I had become acutely aware of how my body worked, and I remembered what humans were good at: running. Stubborn, relentless, long-distance running. Not as fast as a deer, not as nimble as a wolf, but steady and without a rest. So I ran. Really? I think animals are much better at that. I mean, maybe rather faster and short distances than long distance running. Yeah, maybe, yeah. But you have to train for being capable of doing so. I couldn't go for an hour-long run without having done so before. Then I was there. The barrows. I climbed the nearest hill. When I was at the top, I stumbled on something, a shape in the grass, a skull watching me from its bleached eye sockets. I touched it. The buried past. There is a swirl. It starts deep within me and then it expands. Everything is in motion and there is no center anymore. What do we see? What do I see in the picture? I see the village and it burns. We learned before that we were a forest soldier and that we used to burn down villages. So, yeah. But maybe we see the forest first. Oh, look at that guy. It climbs a tree with windows. So yeah, we see the forest. There's a forest. I run among the trees and suddenly I see a hamlet where a clearing once was. My howl is like a keen. The houses are mere huts. There's almost nothing that protects the people from the forest. Their clothes are rags. Their feet are bare. Their hair and long beards are unkempt. There are wolf cubs. Then there's blood. Then the howling begins. The mournful, blood-curdling keen of a mother who has lost her children. Watch, whispers the voice in my head. Watch and remember. But I want to act. I cannot just stand by and watch. I want to act. I draw glyphs with the wolf cub's blood and I pray for retribution. The forest listens to me. The forest wakes up, corrupts with rage and powerful, furred bodies surge through the trees towards the village. The humans try to escape. They scream and beg for mercy. They try to protect themselves with fire. I take the fire from their hands. The Garou rise up, their talons red with blood, their eyes glazed with fury, and the fire is yanked from the hands of the villagers. The houses start to burn. The keening turns into a howl of joy. I am there from the very beginning. My family burned villages for the Pushcha for ages. Oh, dang. The Garou have my eyes, my face. They are my family. I'm the blood of their blood. I'm part of the story from the very beginning. And I do it again. And then it happens again. The humans return, they rebuild the village, this time stronger and better protected. The keening begins once more. Then we, the Garou, come down on them like wolves on the fold, and again, and again, and again. New villages, new fires, more blood. I'm raging up. Again and again, seasons change, centuries pass, the keening continues, villages in the forest burn, until one day there's only one Garou left in the family, and he slays his own kindred in the fit of his first rage. I know him. He's young, but I recognize someone in him. An old man I know. The grandfather. He used to tell me stories about the forest before my mother took me away. I can't move. I stay there and I watch, but I can't move. My throat burns, my stomach is in knots. I want to scream, but I have no mouth. I feel the fire, I smell the blood. I smell ash and tears. I see the large ash-grey wolf looking straight at me. Her eyes are golden. She weeps. "It is in your blood," she says to me. "It is your duty. It is you. Come with me, child, be my fangs and claws. There is no one else to be my cub. Come to me, child. I will nurse you, and I will lick your wounds. We will kill together, we will feast, and we will be merry. The forest will grow." I looked at her. And perhaps for the first time, I saw her for who she was. Her pelt was smeared with fire, her eyes were smoking embers. Ash was falling from her heavy flanks. She looked old, ancient, seething with anger. She was the wolf from my vision. One of the wolves, watching my grandfather from the darkness, waiting for the village to burn. But she was more than that. She was the darkness. The darkness itself, lost in her grief, swallowed by mourning so intense that it warped everything it touched. Whoever she'd been before was gone. Only the need for revenge remained. At least, that was what I thought when I looked at her. The wolf mother looked back at me, and something in her eyes made me realize that she was helping my family for generations, and that my family used to serve her. "Join me," she pleaded. "Only you can understand me. Only you." I went to her, and she accepted me, and I accepted myself. My grandfather was serving the wolf mother, and I finally understood who I was. Darkness fell again, and a bloody tide was loosed upon the world. Darkness. one of us. A lone howl pierced the silence like a single ray of moonlight in the darkness. Then there was another one, and then another, and then another. A choir of voices, triumphant and joyful. I opened my eyes. I was in a clearing. Around me there were wolves, huge, monstrous wolves, howling at the moon. I joined them. I was Hispo, the monstrous wolf form. The pain was overwhelming. My spine cracked and twisted, my knees and ankles broke, and I fell on the ground. My jaw shattered and rearranged itself. My whole skin was on fire, rippling and sprouting fur. I howled in agony. When I rose, panting and spitting blood, I was Hispo, with strong paws, mighty jaws, and a mane of fur. More than a wolf, scary and monstrous. Instinctively I changed and joined the choir. My voice was unsteady at first, but soon I found my own note, a unique addition to the chorus. Well, hello there, Colonel smiled at me, and welcome to the Sept. I just listened. I realized that my survival depended on learning very quickly, so I just nodded and listened. For a werewolf, the pack is family, Colonel explained. And an alliance of packs united in a common goal is a sept. So there were more packs there? I realized that there must be at least 2 packs there. So Olga is here too, she's a werewolf too. Everybody in that protest camp is a werewolf. Or what? And whom did we kill? I mean, we killed one of the guards, but that was more like an accident, it wasn't on purpose. He fell on a stone while we pushed him. And then we purposefully, as a werewolf, killed Anya. She was not a werewolf though, she was just a human. But who were the other people who ran and that we fought? Were those other wolves, and thus they didn't get killed? Or what happened there exactly? I don't know. I looked at Olga. 3 of the monstrous wolves changed. Olga and Lisa stood up, human-looking again, their clothes rumpled. A yellow-eyed wolf by their stride turned out to be Daniel. "We are the pack of the mourning wolf mother," said Olga. They smelled of ash and tears, and for a moment I saw the wolf spirit among them. But we just had a vision with the wolf mother, and we pledged our alliance to her, so we are with Olga. I looked at Colonel. A great grey-eyed wolf changed into Colonel, and soon Pat and Kim joined him. "We are the Winter Weasel pack." "We are the Winter Weasel pack," said Kim. A white shadow settled on Pat's shoulder. I smelled musk and electricity. "We are all Gaia's soldiers," said Colonel. "In that we have no choice, but we can choose whom we fight alongside." I mean, we already chose, right? Without knowing which pack we would be part of. Or can I serve the wolf mother on my own without joining Olga and Lisa, going my own path? Did I have to join a pack? I asked, just to make sure. "No guru can survive on their own," Colonel said with sympathy. "Your old human life is over, but we will never abandon you." I had so many questions. I shook my head. I mean, what about the moon? And now we do know that they can change on will, they don't have to wait for the full moon. Maybe the full moon expresses their war form more, so they rage and kill. on that night, more likely than on others, but it doesn't really matter. How did the spirits work? I asked. The world casts a shadow, and we call it the Umbra, said Lisa. And in the shadow, every living creature, every emotion and idea, every important object exists as a spirit. That's all you need to know at the moment. Wait, what? You don't decide what I need to know? You are from all over Europe, I noticed. Is this like a standard for a sept? I looked at Colonel. I didn't even know if that was a stupid question or a smart one. I looked at Colonel. It's far from the standard, but desperate times make strange bedfellows, he smiled sadly. Normally a sept is dominated by one tribe, maybe two. There are at least a dozen tribes, Daniel interrupted, and I hope, Maia, that you will choose yours wisely. Why did I hear the moon whispering to me? I asked. Luna gave us rage. That is why she's important. So yeah, the fuller the moon, the more rage maybe that you can't control. Olga said, and that is why you'll never be able to touch silver again. Why is that? Moon has nothing to do with silver. Moon is a rock. It's pretty dusty there. Why the animal spirits? Does every pack have an animal spirit? I asked. How does that work? Such spirits are called patrons, and not all are animals, Lisa explained. And our pacts with them give us additional weapons with which to fight the sickness and corruption of the worm. The last word reeked of decay and burning oil. Let's sum it up. So, if I got this all right, I've been conscripted into an ancient war against the worm, I said slowly, trying to put it all together, and the moon gave me rage as a weapon, but I must avoid silver. And there's a whole secret world of spirits, I continued, and I have to join a pack and choose a tribe. Exactly, Lisa nodded. As for the tribe, there are two people who could mentor you now. Olga is from the Black Furies, an ancient tribe of women warriors. And Cornel is from the Children of Gaia, and he's more peace and harmony guy. What about my family's tribe? Shadow of Fenris. Hey, what about my family's tribe? I asked. Lisa winced, Daniel sighed, and Olga shook her head. What was the matter? I asked again. Your ancestors were the Get of Fenris, and no one here wants to have anything to do with that tribe, Colonel answered. They stand against everything we believe in. I mean, he did. Were they really that bad? They surely aren't that bad, I asked. Are they? Get of Fenris are the most radical Garou supremacists that ever marred the face of Earth, Kim scoffed. Like legit fascists werewolves. Some of them literally worked for Hitler. Oh, goodness gracious. A tribe of werewolf supremacists who celebrate the destruction of the human world that Father Fenrir promises at Ragnarok. Oh, and here we have even Nordic mythology. Now it's the wildest mishmash of mythologies that we can have. That's awesome. Antagonistic to the other tribes, to the extent that some whisper of worm-taint. Hated and distrusted. Many see them as another enemy in the war of apocalypse. Goodness gracious. Huh. I mean, yeah, you can judge that, definitely. No problems with that. If it's true, then judge away. But yeah, it's, as I said, it's important to know the past, to not make the same mistakes again. You can only avoid being something if you know what it means. So yeah, I had the right to know my legacy, but you can judge all you want, that's fine. Thank you for telling me, I said. I had the right to learn about where I came from. For a moment, we all were silent. Yeah, and don't be silent about these things. Talk about them. It's freaking important. Don't cover them with that veil, because then you will walk that path. Just talk about freaking bad things in your past. Do it. Confront yourself with it so that you learn. I needed to know more about the tribes. I wanted to learn more about the tribes and find an opinion that would really resonate with who I was. Kim, Pat. We don't know much about Pat yet. I think we talked to Kim because he's kind of... See, he's sympathetic, and we met him first, and he seems to be reasonable. Daniel, I don't know. Lisa, she's a bit too emotional for my taste. we're the reasonable guy, right? Yeah, look at that. We're analytical, but also spiritual. That's a bit funny. Cunning. I talked with Kim. Kim told me a lot about bone Norse, urban werewolves fighting for the disadvantaged and the marginalized children of the red. They stand for the rights of the poor and the disenfranchised everywhere, making their homes in favelas, squats and camps, hated by the other tribes because they act like tame dogs, eating the scraps off the human table. We only have 3 willpower, and maybe we will learn about that more later anyways. Do you really have a rat as the tribe patron? I asked. Sure we do, Kim answered. It's a very good patron, resilient. You want to be like a rat, always managing, always afloat. And this shit there, they gestured around, this shit comes from prejudice, and from exclusion, and from greed. Take greed and prejudice away, and 90% of the world's problems are solved. Yeah, I mean, but it just doesn't work, because people. They sighed heavily. Now, tell it to the other guru, and they'll look down at you, because you are a bone gnawer, and they think they are superior. Prejudice, prejudice everywhere. Yeah. Let's talk with Pat. Pat was a class walker, and her tribe was finding its niche in cutting-edge technological cityscapes among the strands of the weaver's net. It sounded intriguing. We talked for a while. An adaptable tribe of urban human lovers worship the weaver, or at least freely use its tools to fight the worm, hated by the other tribes for their willingness to abandon the old ways and embrace the tools of the enemy. It's funny how even the werewolves amongst them they hate each other, so like the humans do, there's no difference. Not even they can unite for one goal to fight for Gaia, right? So how would that ever work? So the worlds of men and werewolves is the same. They're obviously just people too. What was she doing in the forest? So you're basically a city dweller, I observed. All glass walkers are. It's our natural habitat. I feel quite out of place in the forest. Let's ask more about that. Is it a tribe thing? I asked, interested. That's what it is, she nodded. We use the weaver to fight the worm, and the forest is not the weaver's domain. And I happen to be quite fond of humanity. They have great potential. I can ask everything. I wouldn't take you for a werewolf, you know, I said to Pat. She snorted. Why? Because you look mostly harmless, I admitted. She shrugged. I am, and I didn't expect to turn out a werewolf either. I was a student, happy with my tablet and coding, and then, boom, I was a guru. How did you meet Colonel? I was curious. I was in the first pack. We were both hanging out with the hacktivist crowd back then, when things went south and he disappeared. I found him. How? I asked. Pat rolled her eyes. Girl, please. I'm a tech nerd, so I found him and talked him into coming back. How did you get your spirit patron? The winter weasel to be your patron. I was curious. I caught it, said Pat. Or rather, I made sure it would have more to eat with me than alone. That's how you catch weasels. But it is a forest spirit, isn't it? I think it's a weasel, so it gets accustomed to live where there is food. And right now it's the city. It hunts electricity spirits these days and feasts on them. I had to think it over. Finally, I stopped asking. I had to think over what I'd learned. I do want to talk with them. But I think isn't Lisa in the same pack as Olga? I asked Lisa about her tribe, but she inherited her Siberak legacy from her Buryat grandfather. She said I didn't know the proper legends, customs and cultures to join. Well, tell me. Their hate, sorrow and rage are deeper than any other tribes, because their icy Siberian homeland is melting and decaying now. They're despised by the other tribes as half-breed loners who care only for themselves. There's so much hatred in between the tribes. I mean, obviously they are all born into it, right? You cannot become a werewolf, can you? Let's ask. My grandpa saw that I had the soul of a wolf and started teaching me about the spirit world. She looked at me with her violent eyes. When the time was right, he guided me through the change. Oh, okay, so they can become one. Let's not wish for that, now that we know that he was a Nazi. I don't want to learn anything about him. From him. I want to learn about him, but not from him. My grandpa was telling me stories, I sighed, but I forgot most of them. I forgot how he looked. You remember more than you realize, Lisa said. How else would you know the high tongue? The language of the guru. It depends as much on body language and tone as on actual words. Much of it is instinctive, accented by pheromones, growls, and whines. That was a good question. Is it? So I asked, not sure how to approach the topic. Siberak. I mean, you're from Siberia. I hesitated and Lisa smirked. But the tribe name reminds me of something. Yeah, Siberak. She pronounced it differently, so it sounded like a Polish word. I don't know either, so I have no idea. I must have heard it before. I'm sure that I heard it before, I said, in a different context. In Russian it means someone from Siberia, but in Polish it has its own, very specific meaning, Lisa explained. It's a word for political prisoners exiled to Siberia, and there were tens of thousands of them. Oh, that makes sense. So she got exiled with her family and grew up in Siberia, and now she came back. I mean, that's most probably what happened, right? What does it matter what she prefers? If it's like that, it's like that. If she's just a Russian from Siberia, it's like that. So, what are all these questions? These are weird. Cannot be terrible, it's just a word. Words are not terrible. Meanings can be. Why was she using the name? Why not? Which meaning did she prefer? I mean, the one that's true, right? Let's see what is true. Which meaning do you identify with, the Polish or the Russian? What does that even? Lisa smiled. My tribe name describes both of my legacies. My granny was a political exile. Yeah, okay. So that's what we wanted to know, so it was the right question to ask. And my grandpa was Siberian, indigenous. I used it because it speaks the truth. Yeah, it's that simple. I asked her about the wolf mother. What about the mourning wolf mother? I asked. She's mighty and powerful. There was a tone of deep respect on Lisa's voice. Who was she? Tell me more, I asked. She's old, very old. We don't know when she first appeared here. I think she's the avatar of the forest. What did she want? I asked. I keep asking myself the same question, Lisa halted, looking for words. She knows how to find her way to people's heads. Lisa looked at me for a moment, deciding what to say next. I respect her, but sometimes I think she gets into Olga's head too much. Olga lets her in, and the wolf pushes. And I don't know, maybe it's the right way to do things now? Huh. I decided to keep my conversations with the wolf's mother to myself. Yeah. I mean, that's... How does it matter? And we need the willpower. So... Thanks. That was all I needed to know at the moment. Let's talk with Daniel. I asked Daniel if I could join his tribe, but he didn't understand the question. I'm a red talon, he said, as if it explained everything. Born exclusively from white wolves, most of them hate everything human alive for their millennia-long war against predators and wolves all over the planet. The other tribes hate them because they don't compromise, and they are blind to the suffering of the human half of the Garou. Oh. What are the red talons? I asked Daniel. It is the T-tribe of the Garou, who are born as wolves, Daniel explained. We usually don't mix with others, and we kill humans. But since I am the only one here, I decided that it was better to join the rest. It was a wise decision, I think. It's better to have a pack than to be alone, I said. He nodded. There's always strength in numbers. I protect my folk better when there are more werewolves around. Your folk? The wolves. Thanks. That was all I wanted from him. But I was too exhausted to bug them with personal questions. There were a lot of werewolves there. One thing is bugging me, I said. Why are there so many of you here? Suddenly everyone in Białowieża is a werewolf, or what? You know nothing, Cub, Olga laughed bitterly. A mere century ago there were dozens of packs in these forests. But none of the old guard survived the 90s. Lisa shook her head. We had to start from scratch. Until you showed up, there were only 6 of us. And the 3 of us not even local, Colonel pointed out. 2 packs too small for their own good. Anyway, before you are admitted to tribe, you need to prove yourself. Prove myself? I was shocked. Hadn't I proven myself enough already? Rite of passage, but we do that in the next episode. I end this one here. Thank you so much for watching it. Have a wonderful and adventurous day and